What's going on, Taurus? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a phenomenal month so far. So for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just incredible, Taurus. And it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. And let me tell you why, Taurus, because it is Celestial News Monthly! Yeah, like really just like it's just the greatest time here, Taurus. And let me tell you why, because with this monthly spread, with the when the sun moves to a new sign, we're going to talk about where the planets are at and how we can work with the energies. And just walk in them too, there, Taurus. Why not? And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation. Okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Crystals. Feeling lovely. There's great energy all around here, Taurus. So I'm going to pull so I have Zodiac cards with each of, let me try that sentence over again. I have oracle cards here that represent each of the zodiac signs that the planets are in. That was a lot better. And I'm going to pull an oracle card from this deck for each of them, and then we'll get some details with the tarot. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so applying these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? Thank you. And in case if y'all were curious, the decks I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down below for some links for some other readers that I like watching as well, Taurus. So definitely check them out. Very intuitive group, really cool. I think you'll like their energy, so definitely go show them some love there, Taurus. But let's talk about the party that Leo is throwing in a sign. You got the sun is, I'm not sure what that was. The sun is going to be coming back home, and then you got your ruler Venus that's going to be doing her, so that's another good dance move. She's going to teach you how to retrograde. I'm not sure. I'm working on that on that, Taurus. But with the sun is going to be entering Leo on the 22nd of July, and will be that's going to be about 8:50 p.m. Central Time, and will be there through the 23rd of August. And with this energy here, Taurus, with the sun being Leo's natural ruler, it's like now the energies are going to take on this sense of like revitalization, I feel like, because now that the sun has done his lap around the zodiac, it's like now he can just kind of kick his shoes off, kind of get back in the lazy boy and just kind of like, whew, just take a moment, relax, man. And Leo energy is very fun as well. So this is a great energy for like tapping into that inner child, you and some getting out there and just play, Taurus, and very creative energy as well. And also if you're thinking about maybe a little romance there, Taurus, Leo's very romantic as well. He deals with that energy too. So definitely something to think about there. But also, this is great for just like really just remembering why we all the wonderful experiences in life as well, really kind of shining a light of those things that that bring us joy and confidence, and really kind of raises the self-esteem up, and which really pairs really nicely too with Venus going retrograde on the same day as the sun is entering the 22nd of July, and she'll be retrograde through the 3rd of September. And this is like becoming the artist of your own life with confidence, really tapping it. Because like I was telling Libra, to be Empress ruled, Taurus, you are a very creative sign. Yours is one that really, I feel like can just really bring in just such beauty into the world here. So then this is energies about finding different avenues to express yourself, whether this be through, it's funny, everyone always associates your sign with money, so why can't we get a little creative with money there, Taurus, with our resources? Or this could be through art, through dance, through writing, through technology, mechanics, whatever that's looking like there, Taurus. Really kind of channel into that creative outlets. And then this is a great energy too for discovery of like more self-love, raising the self-esteem, confidence. Tap into that charismatic side of you there, Taurus, and just really just kind of just be and shine as bright as you can. It's really just kind of lovely energy here, Taurus. But let's get to your first card here. Nice. All right. Looks like we're going to be taking a risk here, Taurus. I see you. You got the second card of Sagittarius here, which is the dice card. I see you feeling real confident because this is a card of gamble, taking a risk, luck, playing games. Chances are, roll with it, random results, win, loss, uncertain outcome, playing the game, potential, fate, and what happens next. So the energies that's kind of popping through here, Taurus, it really is like this sense of, interesting. It almost feels like that we're in a state of, that maybe for some we're getting ready. Actually, before I get into this, okay. Before I get into this, Taurus, depending on where your Taurus placements are at, these Leos, these planets, Venus and the sun, are going to be forming squares with your sign, and maybe that's what this is about here, Taurus, because squares bring about like internal conflicts and restrictions, challenges. It can be kind of irritating, kind of inharmonious energy. You may notice some delays in things, but these squared situations are meant to remind us that even when life seems to throw us curveballs and that, it seems like things are just like not going our way, squares show us how resourceful we can be when presented with challenges. So if we had to find the silver lining, there's one of those things when we can learn to work with those energies and integrate those results, then it really can be very rewarding in the long run here. And it feels like with this energy, let me get back to this dice card here, because the strongest thing that's really, and this is not even really that strong, is the roll with it. And it feels like that, it feels like maybe we've kind of, maybe for some we're getting ready to take this chance, or getting ready to, or maybe it's not even like taking a chance, or maybe this could even be even like a little bit bigger. It's like it almost gives me like a sense of surrender here. It's like there's this very interesting here, Taurus. It's almost like there's this uncertainty with the choices that we've made, or it almost gives me even like a limbo type of sense, like that we've been just sort of like, we're waiting back to hear about a situation, or a chance that we took, or maybe even for some it's just like we may not even be trying to think about it at all. Maybe a decision has been made or something, and now we're in this place where the results were maybe not as favorable to maybe for some others, and it's just like, I will say, Taurus, let's switch these around a little bit, because I will say, Taurus, where we are in a time of taking risk, we do want to make sure that we are taking calculated risk, because this could be maybe for some, because yours is a sign of security, and I don't feel like you would take a risk without without thinking things through, or taking a little time. And maybe this is something where either a decision maybe has been taken out of your hands, or something like that. But I just say, let's be mindful of, or this could even be where it's like, maybe we've reached a state of frustration, and we're just kind of just kind of throwing or rolling with it, or something like that. And just being mindful of that, or just like that more type of reactive energy. Let's get some tarot on this, Taurus, and see what this energy is about here. And sidebar, Taurus, I had these new cards not too long ago, and where the imagery on these cards are super cool. They're very long, and this is like the first time I actually had to like practice shuffling. It's been quite a treat here, but mine has ignored that little blunder there, but I am getting the hang of it. That was probably the biggest drop I've made since doing these readings, so we're coming along here, Taurus. It's wonderful. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Let's see what we got here, Taurus. Interesting. We got husband and wife here. We got King and Queen of Swords. You got King and Queen of Swords, and a lot of strong people here. You got the King, Queen, and Queen, King of Swords, King of Wands, Queen of Swords, Three of Cups, the Hermit, and then the Two of Pentacles here, Taurus. And it's interesting here, Taurus. I almost feel like that maybe for some it's like it almost feels like that there's this question of whether we should be celebrating or not. Like I was just kind of looking at her face here, and there's almost this state of like confusion, or this almost even like this energy of like awe, like, or just like a nod of. It just gives me, for some, it's like maybe. It almost feels like that maybe, again, like it feels like either a decision has been made for us, or that we haven't. And this could be maybe in like a relationship, maybe this is like a work situation, like a boss, or it just feels like that like a lot of stuff has been maybe kind of left up to chance or something along those lines, and we have been just sort of like rolling with the punches here. And I don't necessarily feel like it's like a bad thing, like, you know, like I don't feel like there's anything like a. But it just more so feels like that there's this question, I feel like, with the Hermit being here, of just like what do I, like, what do I have to show, or like what can I bring to the table? It's just like it's been, maybe we've just been more in like, okay, maybe even in a better way to put that, it's like we've been almost in like this reserve state. It's just like things have been just sort of happening, and we're just kind of in the state of just like learning as we're going, you know, like in. But I don't know if there's any real kind of wisdom that's being attained. It just seems like that things are just plans are being made, and it's just like there's this sense of just like you understand what's going down, but I don't feel like that there's anything that's coming from it. It's very interesting. Let me get a little bit more on this Hermit here, Taurus. Thank you. Okay, Taurus. So the Hermit is clarified by the Seven of Wands and the Moon here. And it almost feels like that for some, it's like we like almost like it's like we almost force ourselves to stay quiet, or just like, and it's not even like a risk or something like that. It's like almost just like the roll with is the big thing that's kind of. It's like when I feel like it may feel like for some, maybe when we do have an opinion, maybe it's criticized or something along those lines. Maybe we've been told that. And it's not that you can't make decisions, but it just feels like that we've given the reins over to something along those lines. This could be, and you know, this could be, considering we have the King and Queen of Swords here. Maybe this is something that's stemming from a more type of from this could be like parental figures, possibly. Maybe we've been told that it's just like you kind of got to sit back, you got everything planned for you, you just need to follow these steps, and then everything will be fine. You'll go through these trials here, never you'll get to your sunlight here. But it almost feels like that maybe now with this. Because that's interesting now that I think about that. The Hermit is Virgo, Pisces, the Moon is Pisces, and those two are opposites of the zodiac. And it feels like that when you get into like opposition energy, in aspects, it's like either a person or a situation has really kind of forced us to make these decisions here. And that's kind of what it feels like, that we've been kind of just like going against maybe what we really want to do, and have been kind of in this Pisces. Both Pisces and Virgo are very much of service. And maybe we've just been in this state of just like pleasing others in order to try to keep their balance. But it's just like, how is your balance doing? It's very fascinating energy, and I hope that this makes sense, Taurus. But Yeah, very interesting here, Taurus. All right, but let's be mindful of these people, pleasing these, because that's some strong people coming through here. But let's get to your energy, Taurus. Let's reclaim some of this power here, because you got Jupiter that just entered your sign not too long ago, gonna be hanging out for the next year, and then you got Uranus that's been just having a ball. But Jupiter's going to be in your sign until the 25th of May, 2024. And with Jupiter being in Taurus, this is about asking ourselves, like really paying attention to areas that we don't feel secure in, being that's one of the aspects of your sign is that security, that's that self-esteem and things. And if something has been feeling lacking, whether this could be maybe our choices or maybe even just like our careers, our where we're living, how we want to invest in like a lot of things. Maybe I was just having a conversation about with the grocery prices and things going up, talking about investing more in like, rice and beans, more kind of bulk products and stuff, more, non-perishable things or things with like longer shelf lives. And, maybe even thinking about learning how to garden, maybe grow your own herbs or something like that, or veggies and stuff. My stepdad's actually been doing a lot of gardening, so that's cool. But just anything along those lines, just planning for the future. And it's not to say that we're going to get like this, it's not going to be like slow success or slow abundance, or we're not going to get like quick wins, because your sign is considered the slowest sign of the zodiac. And I think that's really because yours also is a sign of the five senses. And to take all those senses, and you need to be really present, and you need to take your time and really breathe in. It takes a moment to really tune into all five of the senses there. So I feel like it's more so along those lines. It's finding areas that we can please ourselves in, or get ourselves again more safe and secure for that long-term game, and get that knowledge and growth and expand for that energy there. Really, it's very Ten of Pentacles type of vibe that this energy is giving, Taurus. And then you have Uranus that's been in Taurus for the last 5 years and be there until like the beginning of July 2025. And with this, Uranus 1 is a planet of freedom. And if there are any areas that we've been feeling kind of restricted in, that's where Uranus is going to bring in change. He wants freedom. He's thinking about, another thing he's about is the future. And so we are getting ready to move really into, because along with Saturn, Uranus rules Aquarius, and we're getting into, especially with Pluto, or once Pluto really gets settled back into Aquarius, it's going to be their age for the next 20 years, and really thinking about getting more innovative and tapping into this. We're getting into a different time, and it's nice that I feel like this energy is coupled with Jupiter in Taurus, because now we've seen all the areas over these last few years that where we have been feeling kind of feeling that instability, and now we can get game plans here with this King of Wands energy to make that adjustment, to move the scales back into our favor. And then the nice thing too with this energy, Taurus, depending on where your placements are at, this is going to be forming a conjunction with your sign. And conjunctions are the strongest blends of planetary energy, just because they're forming like a 0 to 3 degree type of aspect there. And conjunctions are they're a very interesting energy. It can feel a little intense at first because it's going through a change. It's like that natal placement is taking on a different flair. So it's like, let's say for example with this Jupiter energy, wherever it hits your Taurus placement, there's going to come across that area will be more abundant, where that'd be the focus of learning and things along those lines. And it comes down to where the house placement is happening too, but it really does bring about these internal changes, and sometimes those changes can feel a little uncomfortable at first, and it could maybe lead to the state of anxiety and things along those lines. So we just want to be mindful of that as well, Taurus. But let's get another oracle on this. Oh, look at you singing up with your energy, Taurus. You got one of your cards here. This is an interesting card. But you got the 5th card of Taurus here, which is the Broken Vase card. A little baby tower here, but it's fine because we're going to grow from it. Because this is a card of hardship, misfortune, trial, overcome, crisis, 2 steps back, change of state, grief, fix it, opportunity, pressure, burden, destroy, adversity, accident, disappointments, and setback. So the energy that's really kind of coming through strong here, Taurus, is the disappointments. And this energy here feels like that maybe for some, it's just like maybe we've been thinking about wanting to take a risk as far as like, or make a move depending on like, let's say for example, if this was like a family thing, you know, maybe they expect we come from like a line of doctors, but you want to go out and be a farmer, like a musician or something along those lines. And it feels like that maybe we're, for some, it's like we're worried about what kind of tension that will bring, you know, how that's going to shake the foundation and things along those lines, Taurus. But here's the thing, where I do understand that we want to uphold maybe like this family legacy and things along those lines, you are meant to live your own story. You know, no one can really write this thing out but you. And just even thinking about the moon, you know, the moon is just a reflection of the sun's light. And I feel that because you don't have the sun here, I feel like because we've been limiting that here, Taurus. We've been keeping this in this sort of like somber energy and keeping the sunlight kind of bottled in. It's like maybe we may entertain it every now and again, but it just feels like that there's this, it's like this stifled type of energy here or something along those lines here, Taurus. And I feel that I feel like it would hurt more to disappoint yourself by not following your heart and your dreams and taking a chance on the things that you want than it would be to disappoint others. Because I feel that people will mold themselves around your dreams. It's not trying to mold your dreams around others. You know what I mean, Taurus? And I feel like that's just, if that's resonating with you, it's just something to think about there. But I also feel like maybe for some others, that just considering you got the King and Queen of Swords here, that maybe some of us may be thinking about taking a chance, or maybe we took a chance in the past, and we've gotten to this place where we may have been disappointed with the outcome, or maybe this is just like it's like we see where things have gone wrong, and now maybe for some it's like we're almost in this state of maybe for like of being like self-critical or something along those lines, and we're starting to get into that type of spiral here. But with the King of Swords popping up, I feel that he is a reminder too that when we do get in broken base situations, you know, it's not meant to just have you feel like you were a disappointment or that you let yourself down or that an opportunity went by or anything along those lines. It's meant for you to take what you learned from this thing with the Queen of Swords and then channel it into wisdom. Let those mistakes fuel your game plan. So it's like, oh, okay, well, when I do this thing again, or maybe I try a different, you know, try something else, it's like I know to consider X, Y, and Z on top of A, B, and C. You know what I mean? And I feel that when we can come at these broken bases like that, then that makes them a little. That makes them just it makes them less burdensome. You know, it still doesn't take away from the suck, sure, you know, like no one ever cares for like a broken vase or any type of situation. I mean, glass all over the place, that's literally the worst. But it just does make it so that I feel like the recovery time is faster, because where we may not be able to control all the external influences that happen to us, we can control our thoughts about them and how we feel about them, and let that become fuel for new actions there. But take the time too, I feel like, you know, as this stuff happens, to process this, because it can be tough from time to time. But just remember to show yourself some kindness when you're processing these energies here. But let's get some tarot and get some more details on this. Oh. Alright, Taurus, let's see what we got here. Oh, there's Libra. Alright, so we got the Justice card, and then we got the Eight of Pentacles here. And you know, I feel like with the Justice card popping up here, this feels like that when these situations happen here, it's looking at what caused this stuff. You know, did we take a risk? Did we plan things out, or did we just kind of just jump into the stuff? Or were there external situations outside of your control? Or, you know, like really kind of evaluating the cause of these things and how they did affect you. And then with the Eight of Pentacles, it's coming up with a new game plan. Because, like, for example, you know, I feel that sometimes when we pursue our passions, the first time that we hit that first real kind of roadblock there, that's like the first test. Is getting to this place of like, okay, Taurus, you wanted this dream here, but here's an obstacle. Can you beat this? And sometimes we can get to this place of where if we fail, it's just like we give up on this thing as opposed to trying it again. And not even just like the same way though, like trying it from a different perspective, you know, or it could have been timing, you know, maybe it's like we knew this way would have worked, but it's just like, man, whatever the energies may have been doing at the time. But this does feel like that it's because the Eight of Pentacles as well, this can be like a card of prudence, you know, another card of wisdom here. And you know, I do feel that it's there's a lot of lessons that can come from here, and a lot of growth that can part from this. And you know, sometimes when we get in these energies, just thinking with justice being Libra as well, I feel that this could be something where maybe for some it's like, if we're not sure what went down, maybe even like explaining it to one of these maybe like a King of Swords, Queen of Swords, King of Wands type, like maybe talking this out with some people, maybe just like just because the Three of Cups can be like a card of celebration. So maybe we go out to like dinner or something. It's just like, hey, I've been kind of going through this thing. You know, maybe we've been just thinking with the Hermit, we've been keeping stuff maybe kind of bottled up there. Yeah, just yeah, very interesting energy here, Libra. But I do feel like, you know, it towers, you know, broken vases. There's another card in here, like the thunderstorm, gives me tower vibes too. It's all leading towards change, and it's like a square. These broken vases are like squared situations where it may not have been ideal, but when you realize that you can tip the balance back in your favor, but just again might take a little work here with that Eight of Pentacles, but it's something that we can get done over time. And that's something too, Taurus, if we do notice that we keep going about something and the same thing happens like again and again and again, I feel like that's one thing we want to be careful about, because that's the quickest way to lead into like a hanged man situation where we need to consider a new perspective and consider how much of our resources, energy, and things we do want to sacrifice to try to make something work here too. Just another little energy that came through here. But all right, Taurus. Now let's get some tea and let's talk about Virgo, because I feel like this is going to be a really dope energy for you. Because with Virgo, their ruler Mercury is going to be entering Virgo, and then we have Mars that's been in Virgo for a little while. But Mercury is going to enter Virgo on the 28th of July and will be there through the 4th of October. And with this energy here, Taurus, Virgo is very detail oriented, very organized, very analytical energy. So now that Mercury's back home, we're going to be in a very productive little cycle here. Our minds are going to be a lot sharper. We're going to be able to process information a lot faster, you know, stronger communication skills, and they become a lot clearer. I feel like a great place for our mindset to be, to really get some work done here, to really kind of tap into your Eight of Pentacles here, figure out how we can turn an adverse situation into our advantage, you know, maybe take some calculated risk, things along those lines, get some details written up. But great energy for that. The only thing though, considering you got the Seven of Wands here too, being mindful of being hypercritical, because on the lower aspect, that's one thing that Virgo energy can embody. So yeah, we just want to be mindful of that, Taurus. But then you couple that with the planet of action, Mars. It's going to be there through be in Virgo until the 27th of August, and this is a great energy too. It's like now our heads and our drive is lined up to get stuff done. So this is really can be a very productive time for all of us. But I feel like especially for you, Taurus, because depending on where your Taurus placements are at, This is forming a trine with your sign. And trines are the most fortunate aspects. You know, they're very harmonious energy, but it creates opportunities, very lucky type of energy. And you got a little luck here with this dice card that's going down. So, you know, pay attention to like this pay attention to like maybe any sort of like opportunities that people may present, or if there are any areas that you want to improve in or work on or something along those lines. Absolutely, trines like clear all the barriers, or clear the way for you, makes paths to success a lot easier, whatever you're trying to accomplish. So really work with these energies here, Taurus. But let's get an oracle on this and get some details. Oh, look at that, Taurus. You're heating up here with your energy here. You got the second card of Taurus, which is the tandem bicycle. And with this card, this is a card of synchronize, which you are synchronizing with the energies, alliance, duo, partnership, unison, equality, collaboration, togetherness, simpatico, aligned, hookup, cooperation, harmony, help, loin, consensus, and two of a kind. So the energy that's coming through here, Taurus, is the collaboration and the partnership here. And I feel like for some, maybe if we're... Because maybe for some, maybe we took a chance on a business here or something along those lines. Or if we're thinking about doing something, and maybe if we feel that we don't have enough resources, or that, you know, we see that there's going to be a lot of hardship or a lot of challenges, this could be something where maybe we're thinking about collaboration, maybe reaching out to maybe one of these royals here that you have, or maybe even finding some sort of this could even be like maybe we're looking for even some sort of like even maybe sort of like just some sort of like assistance, you know, just something with the justice card here, you know, that can deal with like law and things along those lines. But I'm almost even getting with that like even like partnering up maybe to do like for government assistance, or maybe even starting like a GoFundMe, or maybe something along those lines, you know, even like broadening that out a little bit, like thinking of some kind of creative ways to maybe get some sort of like maybe lessen the chances of us taking of a risk, or taking of an opportunity to like maybe, you know, potentially, you know, blow up in our faces here. But I almost feel like too, Taurus, that this can maybe for some, maybe this is like it's like maybe we were presented an opportunity by someone too, and maybe we're just like, we're weighing this option here, and I feel like it's paying attention to, maybe this is like something you meet up a couple of times, as far as like maybe we're having maybe having some lunches here, trying to figure out how the harmony is. You know, do we think we'll be simpatico? Or this could even be maybe like a friend, a family member, or something where, you know, maybe thinking about doing like a business or something. But just like how I was talking earlier, though, with like it feels like we don't have a choice, I do feel like that don't feel like that maybe someone is making you feel that you're going to miss out on an opportunity or something along those lines too, Taurus. I think I was maybe telling your sign last week about paying attention to like the nuances of conversations, I think, or something along those lines. So I feel like and not that I feel like there's someone taking advantage of you per se, but the Hermit and the Moon is giving me kind of very maybe sort of hidden energy, or that just being aware of maybe some ulterior motives or something along those lines, maybe with whom we're partnering up with, Taurus. Or another thing too, that maybe we're thinking about, like maybe we're a little nervous because maybe we had like a disappointment with a person in the past, and I feel that if we're worried about maybe another thing going flop, it's just like, what do we learn from those past situations? You know, I feel like it's not like cutting off people, you know, when we have like one bad thing. That was just one bad thing, and we learned that from that situation. But it's just like, how do we exercise discernment without just automatically just like cutting people off or things? Let's get a little bit more on this, because I was just even thinking with Libra, you know, they deal with like one-on-one relationships, partners, and things along those lines. But let's get some tarot on this. Alright, Taurus, so you got the Judgment card here. You got the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Wands, and then there you are, the Hierophant. Look at you all wise. I love this Hierophant here. But let's see. Where do we want to start here, Taurus? Let's start with the Judgment. Because the Judgment is Pluto's card, and where normally the Judgment deals with like that next level change, you know, like that real kind of intense transformation, that death and rebirth type of energy here. The energy that I'm more so kind of getting with this that's coming through, and you are kind of racking up on with some people here, I do feel like there's this energy of, especially the Swords family, that maybe for some there may be this energy of like power, because that's one thing that Pluto deals with, like power, and it almost feels like that maybe for some there's this, it's almost like that they're you know, it's paying attention to like the dynamic, because I feel like it's one thing to have differences, you know, like that's, you know, that I feel like really kind of fosters growth. You know, it helps others see from different perspectives here, like how you got the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Cups. You know, the Knight of Swords is operating more intellectually, the Knight of Cups is operating more emotionally, but together they can achieve some really great things. But it's figuring out how that dynamic, what needs to change for that dynamic to come together. How can we bridge those maybe these opposite energies together, that gap or something, to where it is more kind of harmonious, and well, not kind of, that it is more harmonious here. But I do feel that it is going to come down to what you feel makes sense, Taurus. And again, it's just like really kind of, it just seems like that when we're thinking about these relationships or these partnerships or whatever this is, this collaborations, it's really considering like how these things may change us in the long term here. You know, what things, if is there this reciprocity that's going down, like, but let me get a little bit more on your card here. There's a little something else going on with the Hierophant. Let's see what we got here, Taurus. Interesting. Okay. So you, the Hierophant, are clarified by the Page of Cups, the Ten of Wands, and then the Tower here. And I feel like with this energy, Taurus, because you get both the Judgment and the Tower, I almost feel like that whatever this is, this, because this could be, because the Hierophant can also deal with like marriage and things, you know, just thinking with the justice and law and stuff, like there's clearly some changes that's going to be happening, maybe either in like a relationship, or maybe, you know, like maybe getting married, or like kind of like joint finances. Like this gives me very much kind of like the, because Pluto rules over the 8th house, and that deals with like, that's getting Scorpio energy, so it's dealing with those type, and that's your opposite sign, dealing with like energies of like of joint finances and wills and things like that. I feel like that for some there's this big change that's happening, and it's really considering how this change is going to affect you. And I don't feel like it's going to be necessarily like that things are going to blow up with this broken vase here, but it's when it's considering that, it's considering all of the aspects of life. It's just like, how is this relationship, how do we handle hardships together, how do we handle taking chances together, how do we celebrate together, you know what I mean? It's like a lot of kind of deep questions here, but it's just like there's a need, I feel, of being able to carry that load, whatever it looks like, together. And I do feel like that there's this energy here of making sure that because the tower, Mars and Pluto can be very considered like malefic type of energy, really kind of harsh. And I feel we want to be just mindful of any sort of like power plays or dominance or anything along those lines. If it's that energy's not feeling balanced, what can we do to either change this thing, or maybe we need to remove ourselves altogether from this situation. But very interesting energy here, Taurus. And I hope that makes sense here. Let's get you front and center, all this Taurus energy here, and then let's talk about Pisces. Cause with Pisces, you got Saturn that's retrograde in Pisces, and then you have Neptune, their other ruler, that's gone retrograde as well. And with this energy, let's talk about Saturn. Because Saturn is like kind of giving us like a cosmic interrogation here. He's been kind of asking us, what have we been doing up until this point in time? And if we haven't been realizing our dreams and things along those lines, what can we do to get there? What the energies, what change do we need to cause to get the desired effect that we want with this Justice card here? And also, Taurus, because for you, you're a very intuitive sign, Taurus, considering how you are a sign of the senses as well. Because when you have that sense of, when you're really tuned in like that, that's a powerful way to tap into your intuition. And because you don't become the divine counterpart to the High Priestess for no reason. And this is a great energy for you to tap into that spiritual side of you. Pisces is borderline psychic. So this is one to really kind of get into that more intuitive space of you. However that, you got Pisces right here. And I tell you what, Pisces energy, Saturn, Eight of Cups has been kind of going around here as of late. So I do feel like there has been a strong need to just like find those things that we need to let go in order for us to reach our highest vibration here. But then you have Neptune that's going to be retrograde in her sign. And the nice thing about, she'll be retrograde until the 6th of December. And with this energy, it's like, Neptune is the planet of mystery and the hidden realm and the illusions and things that, that are just mysteries to us. But now that she's retrograde, it's like the veil has been opened there, Taurus, and now we can really kind of make that divine connection here with the Hierophant, because he's the bridge between the material world and the spiritual world there. So really tap into that side there, Taurus. It's going to be epic. I've been loving this energy. And also, too, it's something to pay attention to, because Neptune can also deal with kind of like escapism and drugs and things along those lines, asylums. We want to just be mindful of any sort of like vices that may be holding us back, anything that can get us in like that Seven of Cups devil type of energy. Even Three of Cups can potentially be a little bit overindulgence there. So just it starts off real sneaky, so just something to pay attention to there, Taurus. And I tell you, your placements are getting lit up, because depending on where your Taurus placements are at, this is going to be forming a sextile with your signs. And sextiles are very, where they're very, after the trines, they're very fortunate, very lucky, things along those lines. They create opportunities and different, stimulates the mind and things, but it's one of those things, it's like, the sextiles remind me kind of like Ace of Swords type of energies. It's one thing to have these epiphanies and ideas and things, but it's another to actually do something with them, to actually take charge and take that chance and see where those things can lead you. So that's just something to think about with these energies. So I feel like you really are in a, even with that kind of trickiness with Leo and your ruler kind of forming a hard kind of aspect with your sign, you do have a lot of benevolent energies as well. I feel like kind of balancing this stuff out here. So pay attention to that there, Taurus. But let's get an oracle on this. Thank you. Let's see what we got here, Taurus. Interesting. Okay, so you have the 4th card of Leo's here. Speaking of this Leo energy, which is the family card. And with this card, this is a card of loyalty, faithful, allegiance, parents, children, siblings, fidelity, commitment, trust, affection, support systems, origins, tribe, dependable, sincere, and kindred spirits. And the strongest energy that's coming through here, Taurus, is the loyalty. And I'm not sure if this could be either loyalty to these. I feel like where, loyalty in itself is lovely. We all love that good, that person that we can trust, and that, that bond is great. But it's only, I feel like, great when there is when it's that two-way street, Taurus. And just considering you just got like the risk here, the broken base, we were kind of talking about this thing's tower, judgment. I do feel like that for some, we want to be mindful of just not necessarily how, kind of, in a sense of like how loyal we are to either like a situation or maybe even like a person. If it's something that is bringing us to our detriment, where it's really kind of sapping away from our energy, it's been nothing but kind of destructive and no real kind of growth that's been happening. Because it was very interesting that happened at the beginning, where there wasn't anything really, that real strong energies that were coming in. It almost feels like that there wasn't this drive to take this chance, or maybe even for some, we know. It almost feels like that there's a sense of loyalty almost, but it's stemming from like even like a guilt standpoint. And so there's just something to really, and I know that can be kind of tough, Taurus. I feel like, especially if this is something with maybe family or friends or something along those lines. But because I feel like too, and this is not just with your sign, but with all fixed energy, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and yourself, when we do get fixated and like loyal on something, kind of locked in, it is hard to break that trend, to kind of get out of that space of where, and to do that kind of judgment, type of tower sort of energy, because that's some deep change here. And I feel like for some that maybe there is going to maybe be not necessarily a shift in loyalty, but just more so like a boundary that's going to be put on. Like maybe we're the types that were just always there, just kind of at the, I don't know, there, just maybe kind of put ourselves aside, or kept, again, like we were talking about the Hermit, keeping things quiet just to kind of keep the peace here. But very interesting energy here, Taurus. Let's get some tarot on this. Huh. Interesting. Hold on. Get that. Because there's that Hanged Man we were talking about. And that's Neptune energy. So let's thank you. So let's see. You got the Hanged Man here. Oh, and Jupiter. Huh. Both the Pisces rulers. That's fascinating, Taurus. You got the, and the lot going on here, Taurus. Man. So with this, you got the Fool, the Hanged Man, the Wheel of Fortune, the Ten of Pentacles, and then the Three of Pentacles here. And this is, I feel that for some, Taurus, there may be, because you do got some, really, again, some intense change that's going on with this Judgment and this Tower going on here. And I feel that maybe for some, there is going to potentially be, if this isn't already happening, there's going to be a perspective shift that's going to, I feel that's going to happen here soon, like an epiphany or something along those, like a realization that maybe we've been sacrificing in a situation a lot more than we had realized, that we've been kind of stuck in a cycle here with the Wheel of Fortune, this Jupiter energy. And now we're thinking about this future here, thinking about this legacy, thinking about this, what changes we want to implement here, because Uranus is thinking of, that's so interesting too, that we're, it feels like that a change is getting ready to happen here, Taurus, and this is something I feel like that you're going to need to spark here with this energy, and it's going to be work with the Three of Pentacles. It's going to be something that's going to take a minute to get these energies adjusted back towards your towards your legacy and towards your foundation here. But I do feel like that the Three of Pentacles also, this can be a card of collaboration. And I do feel like it's remembering that you're not alone in this thing, Taurus, or maybe not who we had initially sought out. It's like that, because I get, again, where it's like we've been loyal to like a certain maybe group or even something along those lines. This could even be like maybe like a group of friends. It's like, we might be thinking about, we've noticed that maybe things have not been, again, been working towards our future here, our Ten of Pentacles, our legacy, our Wheel of Fortune. And this could be where it's just like, hey, there's a conversation that we may be wanting to have. It seems like we got, like, there may be some tough decisions that's happening here, Taurus. But the thing, too, I feel like with the Fool, though, is that, again, the Fool rules over Aquarius, along with Saturn. But, that Aquarius energy, it's like, it's also about networking. So this could be where if we are maybe changing groups, that maybe we're forming new loyalties, we're forming new bonds, we're building stuff, a new tribe with a different sense of trust, and finding more kindred spirits that kind of again, they give us that soul tribe vibe. If it gives that sense of belonging, and then it's promoting this sense of growth and prosperity and abundance and things here, Taurus. I'm with that, Taurus. That's nice. It's tough, for sure. But I do feel that, because you got a lot of planetary energy coming through, and I feel like, honestly, with all these, with the aspects that are forming with your sign, it's gonna be an active little time for you here, Taurus. But I do feel like a lot of growth can happen from this energy here. But let's get to the last energy, which is Judgment, Pluto. Because with Pluto's going to be retrograde in Capricorn until the 10th of October. And with this energy, this really asks us, like, what does success look like for you, and not even just success in, like, careers, where, yes, Capricorn deals with, like, our career achievement, things along those lines, but this is asking, like, more so just like, do you like where your health routine's at, or do you like where your job, do you love your location, like, what is, because sometimes success could even be just like, even just getting out of bed each morning, and getting, just tackling the day. So it's just like, what does success look like for you, and then what things do we need to do to change that? What routines or habits, or even like maybe some old healing that needs to be done to get to the state. I got the family card, maybe we got some childhood, again, like how we're talking that King and Queen of Swords earlier. But on a bigger kind of scale, Capricorn can deal with, like, authorities and governments and things, and we're going to see, and have the issue that you got the Justice here dealing with law and stuff. There's going to be a lot of changes that are going to be going down, and that have already gone down, because Pluto, being the furthest planet away from the sun, is bringing a lot of that dark stuff up to the light here. So we're in for a lot of change, especially once he really gets settled into Aquarius. It's going to be some unreal, but something really cool, though. I think a lot of dope energy is going to come from that. But even on a personal level, though, because I feel like for you, Taurus, there's something is here where we may be either, like, shedding, like it's almost like coming into, like, a rebirth or something along those lines, like a death card situation. Not to throw any more change onto the mix here, but very interesting energy. But let's get an oracle on this, Taurus. Nice. All right, last little bit here. So you got the 9th card of Libras, which is the chocolate card. And with this card, I love that. We got Libra, we got Taurus. Look at that. I'm with that. But this is a card of satisfaction, perfection, love, romance, treating yourself, sweet, rich, smooth, splurge, aphrodisiac, the good stuff, fine dining, do things right, celebration, and elevated mood. And the energy that's coming through here, Taurus, is the treating yourself. And that's giving me even like a strong sense of just like a self-care type of aspect here. Just considering with all this change and things that are kind of coming through with this energy, just making sure, like, where growth is great, it is a lot. you know, depending on how this thing manifests and how things have been going down. So I just feel that we want to just make sure that we're taking moments to just make sure that we are, you know, treating ourselves, whether this doing like, you know, listening to some relaxing music, or maybe treat yourself to some kind of nice little treats there, you know, maybe cooking a home cooked meal, maybe eating chocolates and having like a little, get a little bubble bath there, really just empress the hell out of this thing. I'm with it, Taurus. But I do also feel that just considering you got the Hanged Man here, you know, we were talking about that. Now you got Neptune and Pisces here. Now that I'm just even thinking about that, I feel like we do want to be mindful of overindulgence. Just because a lot of this change and stuff can be intense, and sometimes we don't want to, in order to get that sort of like instant fix, we indulged in like those, you know, those things of escapism, whether this be, because you do got a lot of people here, whether this be through people, through substances, this be through food, video games. You can overindulge on a lot of things, so we just want to be mindful of that. Like, definitely taking care of yourself, but again, keeping that sense of balance here, Taurus. But let's get some tarot on this. Get some tarot on these chocolates. Get some details. Thank you. Alright, Taurus. Alright, last little bit here. Nice. So we have the Magician, the Two of Wands, the Five of Wands, and then the, ooh, look at all this heat. And then the Page of Wands here. All right, I see you, Taurus. Let's switch back over. Because with this energy here, I do feel like for some, you know, with the Two of Wands and the Five of Wands, you know, there's this, the Five of Wands can be an energy of conflict, and maybe some of us are feeling more so conflicted about where we're getting ready to channel our energy. You know, as far as like what moves we're getting ready to make, or something along those lines. It's like we've been. For some, I'm almost even getting like with this page energy that's coming through. It's like it almost feels like that we're learning how to operate in a different vibration. You know, maybe we've been, like, it's like treating yourself in the sense, like, even just thinking with that, like, it's treating yourself in the sense of like even following your own type of dreams. Or because again, I'm thinking about where that energy of like maybe we've had others maybe telling us how to take chances or things, or how to work with our abilities, or, you know, what we may be good at and what we're not good at, or something along those lines. And it's like now it feels like that you're in this page state where you can, where there, it almost gives me like a new kind of sense of freedom. And now we're in this place of where we've eliminated that conflict. Now it's like coming up with some new ideas as far as like, okay, what do, now that this is starting to get behind me, what does the future look like? You know, really kind of thinking about, because you even got a lot of cards here of like, because I was telling you like the I don't know if I had mentioned this, but Pluto is the higher octave of Mars, you know. And then you have Uranus in the, or you have the Fool here, and Mercury. Uranus, the Fool, is a higher octave of Mercury here. So I feel like there's an energy of you coming into like your, into a higher vibration here, and really kind of it's like, and it's a learning, I don't know, like it's like a, I almost feel like it's a novel type of feeling that's coming through here, like of new opportunities and new chances to just like kind of start things new, and really kind of pursue like your, I like that on this card how it talks about do things right, you know, like kind of do things right, which by right, I feel like it's doing it your way, you know, and whatever resonates with you. So you are the magician in your tale. You're the protagonist. You're the ones who can create what opportunities and things that come up for you towards what change you want to. Because I mean, you came through in a strong way here, showing up for yourself. So Show them what you got here, Taurus, because I do feel like you are. It's very interesting energy that's coming through here, Taurus. I do feel like you're getting into. I'm not sure how to describe it, but I'm excited. So, and I hope you are too, Taurus. It may be a little tough, but I do feel it's gonna be worth it. But all right, Taurus, I think I'm gonna leave that there. So, if anything, if you like that, or if you feel like anything had may resonate with you, give it a thumbs up and share this, Taurus. Just especially if you, because it's a weird kind of mix here. It's like we're taking some chances. It's like because maybe for some it's like it was like we're looking for others to create opportunities for us. It's very interesting energy. Seems like there's, it's something I actually didn't think about, Taurus. That just kind of came through. That maybe for some we were in this place of maybe things again like it's and listen, there's nothing wrong with this because I was kind of spoiled as a child a little bit, like considering what we had, but I'm an only child, but it kind of gives me almost like that type of vibes that maybe things were maybe kind of like not necessarily handed to you, but was easier. You know what I mean? In the sense of like we maybe hadn't had to push like that. And maybe now we're in a state of where there's a lot of changes here that we're in this need to push more, and this like it's getting out of that comfort zone. That's something very interesting too, Taurus. I wish I would have thought of that sooner, so hopefully you stayed long enough here to catch that. But yeah, share this, Taurus, and then subscribe, hit that bell button. You'll get all you Hyro fans. Yeah, subscribe, hit that. Although you probably just sense since you're so intuitive, but you're notified around these videos each week. Let me keep it moving, cause and then I'm on this meditation app, Insight Time. Since you got the Hermit here, maybe something to think about checking out there. Taurus is a free app, but I started a group on there called Zodiacs Raising the Vibration. It's just a group to post positive affirmations, encouraging messages, things along those lines. And as it grows, I'm going to start posting different meditation groups, like, maybe connecting to the divine with that was a good one with the Hierophant, or Judgment Day with the Judgment card, or something like that, But definitely check that out, Taurus. And then lastly, I don't need any Cancerian cards that came through here, and that's fine, you don't need them. But if you have any Cancer in your placement, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, come on over to my other channel, The Chariot and Friends. Sidebar, Taurus, our ruler, the Sun, I don't know if I told you my sun sign's in Cancer, but our ruler is exalted in your sign, so we got a good relationship, Taurus. But yeah, definitely come over and check that channel out. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We discuss lunar shenanigans. It's a great old time. I think I just, when I'm recording this, I think the moon is still... Oh, no, the moon's in Gemini now. The moon was just in Taurus, and I always love when the moon's in Taurus. And all that housekeeping, down in the description box below. But let me get you surprise cards here, so I can get you out of here, Taurus. Very fascinating. So you got the Ten of Swords here. And with this card... Because maybe for some, considering, again, too, because you do got a party here with these people. Maybe for some, it's like, I don't know if we've been necessarily stabbed in the back, and it's not that I feel like others are going to stab you in the back, but it's just, I do feel like, again, being mindful of maybe the people that we are around, the energies that we're attracting, but I do think that one thing to think about with these energies, with the Ten of Swords, and like, let's say if we've had like disappointments with people in the past, is that all of those relationships, where they all serve a purpose, no matter how small or how short or how long they last. They do have an impact on us, and we do keep that stuff stored up there, Taurus. You've got the witch bottles here at your oracle card, and I feel that it's not letting the... For some, I feel like it's not letting the actions of others and disappointments of them keep you down, You can... Because the thing with the Ten of Swords, too, is that these maybe betrayals, or maybe this, like... Because maybe even some, we've even just feel like we took a chance and we hit this rock bottom place, We're at this really kind of low right now. But the nice thing with the Ten of Wands is that it's the Sun in Gemini. It's that sense of duality where it's like we could either see something as, that this is the end, that we've crashed here and that it's done, or we can and like kind of keep that energy bottled up, or we can allow ourselves to kind of feel this thing, process this stuff, and then allow the healing to come through. Almost like this, and almost give with this witch bottle. It's almost like maybe for some, even with that hermit, if we've been keeping like a hurt or like a betrayal or like a something that's been or even been keeping like a tough situation kind of bottled up. It's even just like letting that out, letting that thing kind of air a little bit, as that makes sense, you know. But there's something to think about there, Taurus. But I am gonna leave that there. So you stay safe out there, you know, with these taking chances. And again, I don't necessarily feel like people are going to be taking, you know, advantage or anything, but it's just paying attention to intentions, using that discernment, trusting your intuition, Taurus, because you're again powerful, intuitive. But I do feel like there are some changes on the horizon here. Raise your vibration through the roof, because with those changes, treat yourself. You know, it's a lot, you know, going through these energies sometimes. And so just make sure to treat yourself, Taurus. And I will catch you on the next one later.